Hi, Scott Russell here from the Global Freedom Movement and the Global Inflation Freedom. It's time we just did a little bit of talk on how the economy of things is. The world is going again, and just some observances and thoughts on that. That may not be correct, but maybe it's just something to be a bit of a catalyst to provoke some thought and some discussion. So we're watching a lot of the world. I don't know if you're on the Global Inflation Freedom group and page, but the world is really just coming alive with freedom and the cry for freedom, and the common theme for all of it is inflation, the high cost of living, and people struggling to make ends meet, which obviously we know from all the material that's come in. The World Economic Forum has a large part in that, and I think a great thing to remember is the World Economic Forum, the men that are part of that are the financial rulers of this world, and they are allowing countries, I believe, to continue with massive debt that can't be serviced, where if this was 50 years ago, the country would have been bankrupt. But they're keeping it open, and I believe that these men are doing it for an opportune time. We know full well it's not a conspiracy theory anymore. They're not even hiding it, that they're taking over the world, and to be the one world globalist centralized government coming out of the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab, well, they are going to collapse the economies of the world regionally, I believe. And we're seeing a lot of the third world countries that have collapsed or are collapsing, Sri Lanka, ones like that, and others are under a lot of pressure. But I think in the Western countries, we're going to see countries like New Zealand go first, because it's a smaller, more manageable economy, and the Prime Minister of New Zealand is a World Economic Forum woman, and she's able to shove through whatever she wants. So I think we'll see New Zealand go, Australia, and it'll start to spread. And like I've continued to say, if they can't break America, they've lost it. So they are doing everything they can to break America. They've just done another round of massive spending. They are trying to bankrupt America, trying to break America of its sovereignty, opening the borders up so that anybody can come in. And it's all part of the plan of the globalist agenda of a one world. And so anyway, don't fall into the thinking because your country is maybe relatively quiet at the moment that you're safe in that, because they've probably got it where they need it to be, and the laws in place that they need in place, and they're working on another part of the world, and ultimately it will go. My thoughts on that is we can wonder about what to do and where to put our money, and where to put our, should we invest in gold or whatever. But really, I think the biggest answer here is to have peace in yourself. Because if you have the inner peace and the inner understanding that yes, things are going to go wrong, but I've connected to my God, I've connected in knowing that I'm in the right place, doing the right thing with the right people, then that inner peace, everything will flow out of that. I like to say you do from your be. So if your be is your spiritual state of being, where you've met with your Creator and understand that peace, maybe not understand it, but have that peace, then that's your be, and you will do out of that. So your investments, your preparation, your fear and things are dealt with from that, and you'll have peace instead. But if you're doing to try to get peace, so you're looking for the next investment, you're looking for where do I put this, how do I do this, ultimately it's a very confusing, shifting sand to be on. You can't do to be. I like to say that's religion. Religion wants you to do things so you can be somebody or be what they want you to be. But they completely miss the fact that God is love. He just has unconditional love for what we are, and He cares very much for you, cares very much for your family, cares very much for your well-being and your safety. Be. Find that be and walk in that. And that's not through a religious system. It's through what you already feel at work in your life and surrendering to that. I have a man I was talking to recently about this. He's saying, well, Scott, he called up and he's like, Scott, I feel like God spoke to me or didn't speak to me, but, I asked God, he said, to help me with an area in his life. And the same day something happened, and he's sort of searching, like, I know God's there, but I don't have that real connection. What do I do? And what came out is I use the analogy of coffee. The Americans love their coffee, right? Coffee beans. And I said, look at the coffee. When you have if God is the water, His Holy Spirit is the water, and you are the coffee bean. I said, we're unrefined bean, and if you drop a coffee bean in the water, it probably just sinks. I'm guessing it might float, but probably sinks. And you don't really have coffee. Nobody wants to drink that coffee because it's just a bean in water, right? But I said, life has a way of being the grinder. And as we get put in that grinder and things happen we don't understand, and we often blame the grinder, blame the water, blame everything that we can. Excuse me, to say I shouldn't be going through this, but the coffee's being ground up, the coffee bean, and as that coffee bean gets ground up and gets put into the pressure of life, the coffee maker, and then the water passes through it, and as the water and the coffee are fused, you can never separate it. The smell is beautiful, and the taste of it is lovely, and how much of the world drinks coffee, and that's, I said to him, that's the relationship with God. You can either be a coffee bean that just jumps in the water, or you can be fused. You can have that understanding that life is there to grind you up for a reason, so you can be coffee. And when we take responsibility for that, we don't blame God, or if He loved me, He wouldn't do this. No, He loves you. He'll make coffee out of you. And I think all of us have had that, right? I mean, I'm been the most challenging times of my life, and one of the things I found in that was that I didn't enjoy being ground up, but coffee has come out the other side. To have that unity of God. So I spoke to this man and just saying, look, the best thing you can do is just sit and surrender. Surrender your understanding. Surrender your ideas, your confusion, your fears, your anxieties to God. And ultimately it's Jesus, really. And just ask Him. He brought us the right for that. And I said, look, ask Him to just be one with your life. He called me back half hour later, and he's like, man, this is incredible. I've never felt like this. It's like, welcome to the family. Welcome to the family, brother. So anyway, I'm not here to talk about religion. That's just my personal journey, which maybe will bless some out there that are listening. But I am saying is the world's economy it's going to collapse. It's already done, and these men are just holding back the wave of the crash until their opportune time. But we don't need to wait for them. Just respond anyway, as if that's happened. Follow the peace. Find the peace and follow it. And then don't ever step outside of anything that brings that peace. If you've got finances, a lot of money, and you're needing to know what to do with that, I think your answers lie in that. There's other videos on the site here about some of the things that I've personally done and encouraged others to do, to just think outside normal. Because remember, when this all goes, it's normal where the masses are investing and where the masses are congregated with their financial assets. That's where they'll be raided. The governments will raid those areas because they have to stay afloat. And when they have a lot of upset, rioting people, they have to generate pretty quickly. So be wise. Talk to God about it. You know it. You feel it inside of you. You wouldn't even be listening to me if you didn't. Just, you feel it. Follow that. Trust that. Trust yourself. That coffee, when you've fused with God, trust that. And if you need to know how to do that, shoot me a text or contact me, and we can always talk some more about that. I'll maybe make some stuff on that. But let's be ready. No surprises here. God bless you. Prepare for your family, the safety of your family and yourself, by allowing your inner man to be in a place of peace. God bless you. God keep you.